So, now, another example. I worked with a salesman. He was the most successful salesman in the history of his industry in the world. He was a printing salesman. He sold over $500 million of product over 5 years. $500 million over 5 years. And so I, of course, wanted to know, well, how did you do this? So I worked with him to model what he actually did. And then we put together a sales seminar we called the Rainmaker Seminar. And we did several variations of it. And the first time we did it, one of the ladies in the training, a lady named Jeannie Most from Chicago, went back home after the training and closed a $20 million sale, which was 4 times what anybody in the history of her company had ever done. And we said, well, how the hell did you do that? She said, I did exactly what you told me. And one of the things we told her and we emphasized is go after the top. People are afraid to sell to the top. People are trying to sell to the bottom. It's hard to sell to the bottom. It's a lot easier to sell to the top, and the payoff is infinitely greater. Don't waste your time going after the bottom. Sit your sights high, and if you sit your sights high and you are confident, then you're going to be able to do amazing things. Also, we told her this. We said, you first got to sell yourself first. You got to sell yourself first. If you can't sell yourself, you're not going to be able to sell other people. And you need to have an attitude. And the attitude needs to be this, that what you have to offer the client is of exceptional value. And if you fail to make the sale, you've done the client a disservice because they needed what you had. And it had nothing to do with them. It was a failure on your part to communicate that value to them. So the value was undeniable. And if you couldn't get them to see it, then you had done them a major disservice. So if you've got this attitude, then it's going to make a major difference in how you're able to do this. Now, also, one of the things this salesman was able to do was what we call go to second position. He put himself in the mind of the client. He put himself in the mind of the client. And so he could actually physically imagine himself out of his body, looking down at him and the client interacting, and study that interaction and see what it is then that he needed to see, hear, and do. And so in sales, there was only 2 things you needed to know. So first thing you need to know is what do they want that they don't have? And the second thing you need to know is what don't they have that they want? So what don't they have that they want, and what do they have that they don't want? What don't they have that they want, and what do they have that they don't want? And so 2 totally different kinds of sales. So it's like what keeps them up at night. And as we'll learn this afternoon, that different people are going to have a preference for one or the other. And so the secrets we're going to learn this afternoon is you got to know what your patterns are, and you got to know what the pattern of the client is, and you got to have enough flexibility to match that pattern. And when you can do that, then you're going to be successful. So sales is about value. Sales is the art of people, making people feel good about giving you money. And so we could go into more and more detail, and being able to train somebody to close a $20 million sale in a 3-day seminar is pretty good. And and as I said, and the guy himself sold $500 million of product over 5 years. That's pretty impressive too. So by modeling how people do what they do, you're able to come up with some incredible insight that can be of value to anyone.